What is going on? I'm Zedmont, and we are going to talk about how to build a strong tech tree. Now, this is going to apply to Season 70, but it's also going to apply to whatever season you happen to come across this video in. My cat wants to say hello to you, so we're going to jump into Warships after you throw code Zedmont in all Supercell sources. Warships Season 70 has some crazy cool stuff. It also has some pitfalls for you in the tech tree, so we're going to use that beautiful claim all button, and this video is going to apply to you whether you're starting at rank 1, starting at rank 13, which by the way I had forgotten that I got to 23 last season, which was a nice surprise. And there is a formula to figure out where you're going to start next season. I talk about this every season, but here it is for you. If you're not sure, do bookmark this. You can see that I made it to rank 23 last season. That's why I'm starting in 13. Not to belabor the point, but you guys probably already know that. There's going to be lots of stuff in here. Lots of you know. We're not going to go too slowly, but first and foremost, we need to get some upgrades going every single season, getting the landing crafts up to at least tick 4. Usually tick 5 is the first step. Then you need to calculate how far you can go. And there are some great calculators out there, whether it's the one on Ace Tech or whatever that website is. Terrible URL. Someone please get them a domain. But or the spreadsheet version. I'm not sure if there's other ones out there. Please do check the comments down below. But I know that I can get into that next engine room. I've got enough keys, but I need to unlock things fairly strategically. So I am going to unlock smoke because I'm going to be using warriors. I'm going to get the troop damage, and then you notice that we don't have enough tech. And this season is really great in that you have to manage your tech to get to that next engine room. Both for 3 and 4 engine rooms, you have to unlock and or upgrade some things. So I'm going to get some troop health. You could also upgrade your machine guns or flamethrowers. And this season, because we're going to be using smoke and flares, I'm going to get my gunboat up. Usually skipping the gunboat is a great idea because you don't need it. Like right now, there's nothing to use except for a couple smokes, which you don't need all that often, but we're going to need them soon. So we're going to get that gunboat up to max. And if you don't use the calculators, then just getting your defenses up to the point where you get no more build. So you see at tick 4 for machine guns, we don't get any more build. You guys, 99% of you guys know all this stuff. We are going to get troop health because that is going to be required to keep our troops alive. And I tend to do 2 different tech trees. That helps a lot for me, but just general planning. And if you're going to stay at 2 engine room and collect, by all means, do go get those sniper towers. But for me, I need to get going. I wanted to get into 4, and I'm going to end up like 6 keys short of getting into 4 without my time chests. So we're going to get that next engine room. I think it's 6 keys, somewhere in that neighborhood. So we're going to get the cannons. That's going to be great. And then I am going to go off the path. Now, the more you can stay on the path, the sooner you get into funner stuff. But on this tech tree, I want to get all of the troop damage and have all of the fun. So we are going to get that troop damage up. And here's where things get interesting. My main troop is going to be warriors. Notice that I have not upgraded a troop. Do make sure that you have enough tokens to get a main troop maxed, because unless you're using mechs, which don't require being maxed, you get lots of health, lots of damage at tick 1, you're going to want to max a troop. And I've seen a bunch of people in a bunch of seasons go hog wild upgrading machine guns and flamethrowers and then not have enough for a troop. So we've got warriors maxed, and now I need my flares to be at tick 3. So if I was to max my cannons and my troop damage, I would not have enough for my flares to get to tick 3. And if you're unsure about flares, tick 3 is always a safe bet. Tick 4 sometimes has some problems where your flare doesn't expire soon enough, so I always go to tick 3. we're going to get our cannons up to tick 4, and then our troop damage up to max. And now you see we can't get that cannon max. So if I would have maxed my cannon, wouldn't have been able to get my flares to past tick 1, and tick 1 flares are a huge problem. And there you go, there's our 6 keys short. So a little bit of planning, and the option was either not get troop damage and or not get troop health and get into 4 engine rooms, but then I would be at a disadvantage against all the 4 engine room people. So now at least I've got strong troops, able flares, decent defenses, and I can get into that next engine room on my next timed chest. And that's the other thing, if you're a sleeper inner like me, do make gosh darn sure that you don't go to 6 out of 6. If you have any option at all to claim a chest, even if it's losing, you're going to get that many extra keys. So you're going to get 18 extra keys by simply not going 6 out of 6. If you go 6 out of 6, you're losing keys every time that ticks over, or every hour, or every minute, or however you want to define it. Now, if you're lazy like me, the smart thing probably would have been to not get the troop damage and just go into 4 engine rooms, because I now have to make a 3 engine room base, and then I'm going to get a chest, then I'm going to go into 4, and I'm going to have to, like, it's just, being lazy on warships does not suit you well. So the best thing to do is be in a strong task force, go find someone with a 3 engine room base, and in Season 70, that shield generator is the new shiny amazingness. And if you look at all of the top players in this task force, none of them have the new shiny, but by the end of the season, it's almost certain everyone will have it. But it's one of those things where skipping nodes early in the season, you're going to want the new shiny, things are going to call your name, but by skipping them, you're going to do better. The players that I see that ask the most questions, that have the most issues, are the ones that can't resist the FOMO. If I get sniper towers, I might get 1 more rank. It's going to cost you more ranks in the long run most of the time. So anyways, we're going to quickly build a base, then we'll carry on. This should have given you all the details you need for Season 70. If we look into 4 engine rooms, I don't care about mortars. Those boom cannons are going to be a big deal, as are those shock mines. So that is going to be my focus. Also notice that Brick is there. Brick is going to be great with many of these troops, whether if it's with her cluster grenade or with battle orders, or if things get dirtier, there's going to be her Iron Will as well. Lots of stuff that is great in 4, lots of stuff that's good in 3. So that's where, if you just want to collect chests, get intel for your task force, stay at 2. If you want to do best, you want to get into 4. So let's build a base, shall we? Jumping back in, I literally just dropped my defenses so that any of these paths that they're going to have to run is going to get us the W. It's going to get their troops onto this machine gun if they don't have flares, and then ideally their troops are going to split, and the more you can cause troops to split, the faster you're going to beat them. Now, chances are we're just going to get crushed, and I have no idea how to attack yet. The fact that these 3 engine rooms are so gosh darn far away is going to be a giant pain, but we do have some smoke, we do have some flares, so we're just going to get in and see what we can do. Our troops are we're not gonna go engine room to engine room. We're gonna have to do a little bit of clearing. I'm probably gonna flare onto like the flamethrower. Do remember that machine guns do have blind spots, of course, and that's why my flamethrowers cover up some of those things. And flamethrowers next to the headquarters or engine rooms or whatever the heck you want to call them. You know what, I'm gonna swap these two just to get a little bit more firepower around that horn, because if they flare over into here, for example, they're going to have to come all the way back, and the more we can get them as they come across, the better. And we might want to consider moving our machine guns back like that, just so they don't have a blind spot along the edge in case people try and smoke them. But again, this is where copying a base from a player is easy, but as you see by looking at our task force leaderboard, every single person who's doing well is in the 4 engine room level, so That's why sleeping in can be great for the lazy, but also a complete and utter pain for the lazy. Thankfully, I only need to claim 1 chest to get into 4, and then I can copy someone else's base. And did you guys see that? We had a squad leader on the Cryoneer. I'm almost certain of that. Like, it was like right there. Was that an artifact from last season? I'm sure there was a squad leader, like a heavy, it was the Zuka fan squad leader. Could we have, I'm going to try that on my other account. You know what? Let's go. No, I'm not going to. On my other account, I'm going to see if I can drop Cryoneers with a heavy squad leader, or if that was just a visual artifact. By the way, speaking of visual artifacts, do remember that the shields, when you show them, anyways, check my video yesterday. You'll see what's going on there. Let's just get in. Let's get back in. We're going to see what's going on here, and just, should we move a bit more over into here? I kind of feel like, let's move you into here just to get like a central thing, because you're going to have to come through the center regardless, so let's throw a bit more in the center there. We're going to move you down into that neighborhood, you over into there. Let's go something like that. You guys can reach up into that. A little bit more boisterous in the middle there. Totally wrong word, but I don't care. Let's go. So tech tree working well, I think. I think flares are going to help us. We'll find out. This person did go back and get shield gens, and as a result, we have more troop damage than them, but they have more troop. Actually, no, it's not because of shield gens. It's because we did slightly different things. So we're going to send 5 boats up into here. We're going to send 3 boats over into there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Shouldn't need to delay. I think that if we drop our flags on the bottom left here, we should be good. Could throw a smoke. Uh-oh. Didn't work out as anticipated. So we're going to have to go something like this. That is already a complete L, but we should be able to get a split going here. There we go. There's a bit of a split. Remember how I talked about our opponents wanted our troops to split, and they definitely got the split they wanted. Our warrior dudes are doing great, but I did not do well at getting my troops onto the things. You know what? Let's just throw a smoke and get them onto that engine room. Our flares are tick 3, so we need to be a little bit careful as far as getting them going and burning through that stuff and getting the L to start the season. And that's why you watch these videos before you start attacking, because I should have delayed things better, and ISO beat us by 13 seconds as a result. So we'll watch their hit, see what they did better, and they are using Cryon. We just lost to someone using, oh, they got Everspark, that's why. Okay, Cryoneers definitely not required. We just lost to someone we should not have lost to, but we have lots of space in iron to claim, and that is a very important detail. Don't worry too much about wins and losses in the early season. More important to trust your tech tree as long as you have enough space to claim. If we're in 13 or 11, it really doesn't matter. So let's get these troops out. We'll do hopefully slightly better, not really needing flare quite yet, but what we're going to do is send 3 of our boats over onto here, getting them going. We will throw a smoke because why the heck not? And then as that smoke gets going, we're going to get the rest of these guys out, and they are going to, that flare, you see that tick 3 flare doing beautiful things for us. And the fact is, we're going to get rid of that shield gen, which is going to help the rest of our troops get onto things quicker, and we'll speed this up a little teeny tiny bit. Our warriors are not doing normal warrior. Look at that split. That is beautiful. That is exactly what we would have hoped for. The bulk of that right group going right, these guys coming in, warriors healing themselves, and we're going to get a time of about 3:15-ish, I would think. Come on, get going. Nope, we're still way too slow, but getting quicker every single attack against Admiral Bug, the player that I see every season. So GG, Mr. or Mrs. or Miss or whatever, Admiral Bug, faster. We're going to have to make this base faster if we wanted to get our base better, but let's be honest, we probably don't give a crud about it. They're just running through it. That flamethrower at the back, not really doing a heck of a lot for us. So we need to move that forward a little bit, get a little bit more firepower up front, and I mean, I don't really care about this base, let's be honest. So we're just going to move all of this stuff slightly forward and keeping on going. I'm going to get into 4 engine rooms on my next chest, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time for it. We need to send only 2 boats to that left. Whoa. Giant sneeze by my wife in the background. I hope you guys can hear that. And then we are going to send all of our troops over here, getting them out early, because why the heck not? 1 smoke over there, and then as that flare expires, all of our troops getting over into there, and these guys are just going to have to work to stay alive. This center section is going to be rough, and that is another reason to get into 4. As you get into further on the engine room levels, you're going to experience people who have rushed and don't have mortars and don't have sniper towers, so these guys, we are the ones we want to leave behind in a giant way. I mean, this person has gotten themselves entrenched in the 3 engine room level, and we are going to lose to them right now, almost certainly, but let's be honest, we are going to do better in the long run, because snipers and mortars, I think, are a giant mistake at the second. I would rather have boom cannons and, what are they called? Boom cannons and shock mines any day of the week, but let's get back into here. You see we've got a lot of GBE, so you probably don't need to max your gunboat yet. We have way more GBE than we need, so there's the first issue with my tech tree. Probably would have been better to max our machine guns and or our flamethrowers than our gunboat, but those are the things that trying to balance all of these things, didn't do a great job of. So don't max your gunboat right there. Almost never needed, especially without shocks, or like all we're doing is flares and smoke, like the occasional smoke. So a bit of a mistake there, but on the plus side, we have gotten into that next engine room level, and now we have lots of bases to copy, and we have 1 more, and look how much farther people have to go. So before, all they had to do was come up to there. They only had this map here, and now all of a sudden, against any 3 engine room base, they have to travel way further. So that person who just beat us with a 3-minute, 3-second really doesn't matter. We have the leg up on them. If we were to have a rematch right now, we would most certainly win. No one's fizzling down there yet. We just walked through that base, and now we can upgrade some goodness. Now, we can actually only do 1, so I'm going to do flamethrowers. That choice is up to you. I like flamethrowers more against warriors. Machine guns have that blind spot, so that is the reason there, and cannons aren't going to do a heck of a lot. So my next upgrade is very likely to be that machine gun to max. I shall leave it here, though. Hopefully this helped you with not only Season 70, but any season that's out there. So, as always, hit me up in the comments, and always do check the comments down below. I have the best YouTube subscribers and commenters on all of Boom Beach, all of YouTube. Lots and lots of smart things will be added. People will kindly and gently point out the mistakes that I have made, and so you want to check the comments as well. I'll talk to you soon, though. Code ZMOT in that shop. Thank you for coming in, liking, sharing, subscribing, and knowing that, yes, I just published a video with 3 straight losses. No wins, but the important factors come through. Take the L's. Don't just like water off of a cat's back. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for coming in. I'm ZMOT. Peace. I know it's